As you might have seen in my last video, our kitchen is very much under construction. In the previous video, the wall was actually bare brick, and this wall was black plastic. We are super fancy around here, but we are starting to upgrade. So we are covering this part of the wall with drywall. Also, we will not have a black plastic wall. Shock to most of you, I'm sure. The reason we're covering up the brick is it is very old and very messy. The mortar just falls out. It doesn't fall out in chunks, but it's very crumbly and messy. So for a kitchen space, it just makes more sense for us to have that covered so I'm not constantly having to fight the mess of it. We've decided to leave the living room the exposed brick, and I will go back in and repoint all that brick. But in the kitchen, I've just decided to help with some of the insulation factor and everything. We are covering the brick in here. So while we wait for the rest of the kitchen renovation to happen, I needed to come up with a solution so I wasn't ruining our fresh drywall. It has not been taped or mudded or primed or painted. So yeah, we needed a solution in the meantime while we wait for all those things to happen. We still need new cabinets and new countertops. So I don't want to get carried away getting all the other stuff done first. So this was what we came up with. My solution is the peel and stick wallpaper. I was actually looking for a contact paper, which is pretty similar. The contact paper I've used in the past has been a little bit thicker. So this is a pretty thin, it's pretty easy to tear, but it does have some texture to it. It feels like it should be very wipeable. So like if we do get something on it, I should be able to wipe it off and not have it like absorbing into the drywall, which was the concern. So if you're ready, let me share some of my top don'ts for doing this project. I do not recommend putting your wallpaper horizontal. I know that it made sense at the time because I was going to use it as a backsplash. So I thought 17 inches, that's a good height for a backsplash. I'll just go horizontal with it. One, you are fighting gravity. It's a lot easier to let gravity help you pull it down the wall. And it just wanted to pull and crumple and everything underneath. So it made it really hard to do this with just one set of hands. So if you do want to go sideways, definitely have a helper. It's not an easy task to do by yourself and make it look even halfway decent. The next thing, I could have planned exactly where I was going to put the wallpaper a little bit better. I knew that the splashes above the stove were more than that 17 inches was going to cover. I don't know why I didn't really think about it when I was ordering. So I only bought like enough for one run through the whole kitchen. And then I went and put one piece above the stove, which means I didn't even have enough to finish my one run. But the main idea was I needed to protect above the stove anyways. But make sure you order plenty of wallpaper. I went and ordered a couple more rolls. I'm going to actually wallpaper the entire wall now because I just think it looks so much better than the raw drywall where you can see all the screws and, seams and everything. So that'll be my temporary / longish term fix for that. But if I had had that in mind, I would have done it correctly and gone top to bottom so that I would have ended up with less wrinkles, less struggles all around, easier to remove the backing, everything. So that is something to keep in mind when you are taking on a project like this. Another tip, don't try to struggle with leaving things in place. I thought that I could fit the wallpaper down behind my countertop, which logically makes sense, but most of it was still on a roll. I was trying to bend it and fight it, and you can't really get, even though it slides out a little bit, it's still really hard to get your hands down in there to smooth things down. I did end up just pulling the whole not shelf, the whole countertop off since it's not even attached. Again, all temporary, so that I could more easily do it. I wasn't fighting it. Ended up going a lot faster once I did that. Yeah, so I guess another tip would be move everything out of your way so you're not fighting everything. Another thing I don't recommend is don't just try and eyeball it. You know, just this looks straight and put it on the wall. You want a level, you want a line to follow. That makes it a lot easier. Also, don't just put it up there and cut your paper. I probably wasted a lot more than I needed to. It would have been smarter to measure it, measure the wall, measure the paper, and then, make cuts accordingly. I did find that the razor was actually super easy to cut the wallpaper with instead of trying to use scissors or anything else. It does come off pretty easily, and so far it's sticking really well on its own. It's not like peeling off on its own. So I think it'll be a great way to save our drywall and also have it look decent in the meantime. If you have wallpapered before, let me know some of your lessons learned. I have used the paste style wallpaper before and, done it the correct way of top to bottom. If you've used peel and stick, let me know. What are your favorite tips for getting it stuck on correctly and lined up well? Um, we would all love to share in your knowledge.